Hi everyone, welcome to the Secrets of the Viz, where we dive deep into the heart of Tableau Public's Viz of the Day. Have you ever wondered how these stunning visualizations come to life? I'll be peeling back the layers and recreating some of the unique techniques behind these creations. Join me as we explore, learn, and get inspired together. Don't forget to subscribe, follow for more tips, and nominate a Viz of the Day you're interested to see decoded. Let's get down to unlocking the secrets of the Viz.
Dark mode Vizes don't often work well due to the color contrast, but this beautiful Viz by Shishtoff is a work of art. On first look, it is a long-form story that uses conventional charts very well to tell the history of Oscar's Best Pictures Awards from 1929 to 2024. But I've also found some pretty nifty tricks that he uses to make the Viz look like this, so let's dive in. Over here, we have a dot plot that is grouped by decades, and how this is achieved is through two calculated fields. The first one groups the dates into decades by taking the first three characters in the year field and combining that with a 0 and S to make it appear as 1920s, 1930s, and so on. The second calculated field takes the rightmost number in the year, essentially giving us a value from 0 to 9. These two fields make up the X and Y axis. Now, you can drag these dimensions into the view and add the individual events to draw a dot plot. The second cool trick is implementing different colors for the same measure in a tooltip. I use this quite often in work, so it's nice to see that I'm not the only one that does this. You will need two calculated fields, one for the nominated Oscar film and one for the winner. And what Shishtoff also did here was to quote his IMDb rating from 0 to 10 and using either filled or unfilled Unicodes to represent them. That's genius work there. The next step is simply to put them next to one another and format them in different colors. How this works is due to the if statement in the respective calculated fields, as it returns a null value if it doesn't match the condition, and null values are just not shown in the tooltips. The final hack is a discrete color heat map with multiple measures. It uses a similar minimum 0.0 axis method we have seen in the previous episode by Manny to create 4 distinct data columns so that you can color each using a different dimension. Getting this to fit exactly might take a lot of trial and error, but a really cool hack here is to use the same minimum 0.0 field to draw a fake axis for each row as well, and setting the size to the maximum to have it fill up entirely without overlapping. The finishing touch blew my mind. Shishtoff duplicated each minimum 0.0 axis for the columns to make it 4 dual axis charts. And what this does is it creates an axis on the top and bottom. You can remove both axis marks and use the axis titles at the top to label the chart. I'm definitely using this trick from now on.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Secrets of the Viz and learned a thing or two. Keep vizzing, and I'll see you the next time.